Currently, when I look at weight loss on social media, a lot of people will talk about low calorie equivalents of normal foods that you eat as a staple in diet. So I see it a lot from fitness influencers, generally people that are giving advice on weight loss. They'll say, have a low calorie pudding or a low calorie yogurt or an equivalent of something that you eat. They really go for low calorie options because obviously it makes logical sense. You think lose weight, so low calorie, decrease the amount of calories that you intake, decrease the amount of food that you eat. And almost all diets that you see will follow this kind of philosophy. Reduce the amount of food that you eat, reduce the amount of calories that you eat, and then you'll lose weight. And it's because it follows this obvious law of the less calories that you take in versus the amount that you burn, you get a weight loss, you're in a deficit, and then you get weight loss from it. In my experience, and although this might sound a bit weird and wrong, I actually find it easier to lose weight when I eat more. And bear with me on this. When I say eat more, what I mean is if I pick foods with a high amount of satiety, like a combination of high satiety, low calorie density, I can eat a lot of it, and get very full and then not actually overeat. Because in my experience, if I eat low calorie foods, if I have a big salad bowl and then a low calorie protein pudding and then a low calorie yogurt and then some popcorn, like you see popcorn all the time in like diets and weight loss diets. If I eat that meal, sure, it's not that many calories, like I wouldn't have eaten that much, but I'm hungry even when I finish the meal. So I can just eat it and eat it and eat it. And a lot of the time, it doesn't provide you with fullness and energy that I need to like go 4 or 5 hours before thinking about my next meal. And it doesn't get rid of any like food noise that you have. So if you're thinking about food a lot, or if you're someone that's overweight or obese struggling with food noise, this little voice in the back of your head that tells you about food, it doesn't help with that. You see things like popcorn, rice cakes even, always banded about as like equivalent, you'll see what I eat in a day from fitness influencers, and there's rice cakes with some peanut butter spread on it and some banana. Like that meal, whilst not very high in calories, isn't a great meal for me. If I eat that, I could just eat them again and again and again. Rice cakes do nothing for me. I don't really get energy from them. I don't really get full from them. I could eat the whole packet if I wanted to. Make me feel a bit sick afterwards. I probably crave some more sweet after that. So for me, that never really worked. It works for a couple of days or a week or two, and then I just start to, over time, eat more and more of those kind of foods. And then sometimes I get really hungry that I then start eating really junky foods because I'm just really hungry. And then like over weeks to a month or so, I actually start trending towards overeating again. So it's not that the low calorie foods don't work. Obviously, if you eat less calories than you burn, you will lose weight. It's that over time you start insidiously, slowly moving towards eating more and more food again, and then eating the wrong kinds of foods, and then it becomes really easy to overeat again. In my experience, and go and watch my 5 foods that I ate to lose weight, because I tell you the exact foods that I use, including 2 extra foods that I put a lot in snacks. If I eat those foods, chickpeas, lentils, sweet potato, if I incorporate a lot of that food in what I eat, imagine I make a bowl, add some chickpeas, some sweet potato, some chicken or some lean beef mince, add some vegetables, add some dressing, add some pomegranate, add some seeds, just building up this bowl with high satiety, low calorie dense foods. I can eat a really, really big bowl and be stuffed, and yet fair enough, it might be slightly more calories than a low calorie meal, maybe 700-800 calories in one bowl versus 400-500 calories or 300 calories. But the reality is that I can go 4 or 5 hours without eating again, and I actually don't really think about food again until I need to eat again. It gives me a good amount of energy. I feel full, I feel nourished. I'm not craving snacks afterwards. I don't get this crazy glucose spike and then an insulin spike and then a crash where I then crave more sweet. It keeps me nice and balanced. I'm eating more food, probably in higher calories, but over time, I actually end up eating less. It's easier for me to maintain that. I don't find that I start over snacking. I start thinking about food more. I end up in this like vicious cycle. Go and look at my video on vicious cycle weight loss to see how that feels. But I just feel like I can eat a higher volume of food, stay full, and then over a large period of time, I actually end up eating less food. So within weeks to months to years, hopefully, I will just lose weight because I'm actually eating a low volume of food. And because I have more energy, I then can, work out harder, work out more often, etc. Obviously. So It seems odd to say eat more to lose weight, but it actually does work. If I eat low calorie equivalent foods, or sort of like the fad foods that you see around now all the time, protein this and low calorie this, I can just overeat them. They don't really fill me up. They are low calorie density, which is one of my fundamentals of weight loss foods that I incorporate, but they don't fill any of the other criteria. They're not high in satiety. They can still spike your insulin. They don't really give you much energy, and they're just not very filling. So I would suggest trying this. Go and look at my 5 foods that I use. Pick ones that work for you. Really filling foods. Don't worry too much about the calorie density, even if they're a little bit higher in calorie. If they have if they have those nutrients in them and they're really filling, and you incorporate them into a large meal that gives you a good 4 or 5 hours before you think about food again, over time you're going to lose weight in this using this method. Hope that helped. See you all very soon.